Today in the crypto space, we see the market doing pretty good. Bitcoin right around that $67,000 mark, up approximately 1.5%. Ethereum's doing okay, right around that $2,500 level, looking for some green bullish price action to the upside. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, there are a few dips like Sui, Aave, Tau, Say, and a few others. And of course, there's some green like Phantom. Aptos is doing pretty good, and so many others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project that is part of the new layer 1 narrative, and that project is called Celestia. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate this strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. And it's the best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. You can see that the market cap is doing okay. It's still okay, right around $2.4 trillion with a bit of trading volume to the upside, looking great. There's a market participation getting involved, and as we see the volume increase, could we see the market cap rise? Now, we are also seeing Bitcoin show a bit of strength today, guys. In the last 7 days, Bitcoin has moved up 7.7%, which is pretty good. Today was a bit of a pop to the upside, 1%, even a little bit more earlier on, and we saw the market definitely rise up pretty good. Some of the altcoins were actually flying earlier on. But in the meantime, we do get a bit of a rejection, a bit of hesitation, and we see a bit of sideways. You know, Ethereum also taking a bit of a hit, and we can see that a lot of the altcoins also did pull back. Now, the question is, what's happening with the Bitcoin dominance? Is Bitcoin still dominant over the rest of the market? Is it still dominating over some of the altcoins that, you know, our favorite altcoins? Possibly in the immediate short term, we could see that. We are definitely seeing some of the good gainers, the good bullish altcoins definitely keep up with Bitcoin, which is a good thing. Obviously, we want to see that. At the current moment, we do see BNB kind of still grinding to the upside, doing its thing. Solana is still looking okay, not really big deal here. And as we keep on going down, you can see, generally speaking, the market is still within structure, not really breaking down at all. So Altcoin looking okay, still within structure. Cardano still making higher highs and higher lows, although it is at the bottom of the range. It's still looking good. Some real good bullish sentiment coming out of the AVAX camp, doing pretty good as well. Is it going to go sideways and dip for a Bart Simpson retracement, or is it going to go up to the upside and continue moving up? You know, depending on the market conditions overall, the overall sentiment in the crypto space as a whole will obviously define whether projects like Avalanche, like AVAX, continue to the upside. If Bitcoin continues showing strength, we could see a lot of these altcoins wake up with it, or at least go sideways. And when we see Bitcoin take a bit of a break, rotation happens, capital flows back into the altcoin market, and we see these altcoins wake up. So this is the thing here, guys. We can see that a lot of these altcoins are still good. Higher highs and higher lows, grinding to the upside. Some of them have retraced a little bit, you know, just a bit. Like, for example, Uniswap has been doing great, and it's still within a structure, making, you know, double tops and double bottoms, doing its thing. Sui rolling over. Guys, a bit of FUD around Sui. Honestly, it is not factual FUD. It's literally fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is, in my opinion, coordinated just to FUD the project so the price comes down. This is my opinion, obviously, guys. Not financial advice on all of this, but I think that Sui right now is definitely giving you an opportunity to be buying dips. It's down 7.4%. Yes, it did run up significantly. Maybe strategically speaking, it could be healthy profit taking, no doubt. But clearly, there's some coordinated FUD out there regarding Sui, and the Sui team did address it. So go check that out. Go figure it out, because ultimately Sui is still good. If we keep on going down, we see Aptos showing a lot of strength as well today, looking to break through a volume gap. The TA that I offered you guys earlier on last week is absolutely spot on, and it definitely took off. If you missed out on that video, go check it out, guys. I release videos every single day on various projects, as you can see, various projects across the market, and definitely, definitely trying to keep one step ahead. And you can see Aptos 3 days ago, just before the massive move to the upside. And of course, I cover a lot of different projects, guys. Go check it out. If you missed out on Carrot has been flying today also. So a lot of good projects doing very well. And let's continue here. What's going on? But BitTensor Tau definitely rolling over a little bit, down 6%. You know, BitTensor did make a nice comeback up to about $600, so that's really good. Caspa still kind of slumpy there at the bottom of the range. And as you keep on going down, just generally speaking, the market is still good. Look at Phantom up 7% today, guys. Phantom's an absolute beast. It's been doing really good despite negativity. It keeps on trekking to the upside. HBAR woke up a little bit, guys. HBAR's been waking up 6%, up 7.3% in the last 7 days. That's not too bad. And in comparison to the rest of the market, you got to admit, Injective is up 10%, and so many bullish people around Injective, and HBAR is here up 7.3%. To be honest, I choose Injective, but you know, to see HBAR wake up like that, it's not a bad sign. It's not bad at all. What else do we have here? You can see the fractals all looking pretty good. Mantra, of course, not giving me an entry, but it's all good. I'll move on and find something else. And we see Maker taking a bigger hit than expected. Look at that quick move, swift move to the downside. And Helium's in a downtrend. Very ironic to see that happening while the rest of the market is definitely in the uptrend within this time frame. You can see that. Not a good look, definitely, but maybe gets down to a point of it being undervalued where you can get in on a fire sale. Beam is moving, guys. Beam is moving, and a few others, guys. The market is looking good. The market is looking good. Of course, like I always say, guys, zoom out and ask yourself, when am I going to be taking risk? Obviously, you have to have your thesis. You can have a long-term, mid-term, short-term thesis, but always zoom out and ask yourself, when am I going to take some risk? Because ultimately, you do not want to be left behind when the big picture structures start to break and Bitcoin starts to move. All right, guys, let's talk about charts. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin our analysis by looking at Bitcoin. Then we'll take a look at the project of today, TIA Celestia. Bitcoin at the current moment is doing great. It's doing fine. It broke above previous high. It did make a higher high here. Now the question is, are we going to get more strength to the upside where we can actually break above previous highs and start moving to the upside in a big way? All-time highs, price discovery. Guys, let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. You know, the issue here with Bitcoin is, as we get to those critical levels, people are going to get hesitant. And it's fair enough. Why? Because previous data suggests that we should. The path of least resistance is to the downside. Because reality is that there's tons of resistance above. And not just volume-wise, because the reality is there's not that much volume up here. It's emotional resistance. Individuals, traders looking at these levels as opportunities to short the market and capitalize on volatility to the downside, given the fact that this is still a downtrend, clearly. However, if you start zooming out and you start looking at big picture, guys, this is a massive cup and handle, a scenario of which we should be prepared. As you can see, this nice rounded bottom, this nice little retracement, and it's not little, but it is little on larger time frames. It does look amazing. This structure right here should give us a massive breakout to the upside. And of course, we're prepared. We understand that these structures right here take time to actually fulfill and build and actually break out of. And then we start looking at, okay, what if it does break out? Where do we go? We take a measure move out of this from the top to the bottom of the cup and handle. And we start looking at what, 120, 130, maybe even 140. Who knows how high we're going to go? The only thing that I can say is, guys, zoom out at least once a day and ask yourself, when am I going to take risk? The reality is that if you've been waiting for opportune moments and waiting, the reality, you should have some skin in the game. You should have some exposure to the volatility. And at the current moment, you're asking for a bit of trouble. I will admit, although I am bullish, and I remain bullish as long as Bitcoin is above the 200 daily EMA, above horizontal supports, above the previous high, I remain bullish. There's a lot of bullish sentiment here. However, you are buying into resistance and you're looking to become a breakout trader. And as a swing trader, momentum trader, and as an individual that does not buy tops, even local tops, guys, the reality is you're asking for trouble. Now, can we still get in right now with Bitcoin? Sure, you could. You're just going to have to be able to endure a potential dip. It could still happen, right? We could still even come down to touch the 200 daily again, right? To back test and confirm and spring right off of it again. That's all very possible. But at the end of the day, you know that you're not buying bottoms. You're buying into an impulsive move. You're buying at the tops. You're buying the local tops, and you're buying for a massive breakout to the upside. So just in case, what you have to do is ensure that you have some capital to buy the dips just in case that happens. Now, we see the daily looking good. The follow through here is happening really good with that divergence, both on momentum and trend. If we get onto the 4-day, you can see that we're rolling to the upside here with volatility slowly making higher highs and higher lows. Guys, do we finally expand to the upside? And what really gets me super bullish here, now it's not just Bitcoin, there's a lot of altcoins doing a very similar thing, is the trend oscillator here that I got going on. You can see these expansions are diverging, clear diverging to the upside. EMA is facing up, green histogram bars, and the purple expansion is there on the 4-day. So that means that we just need to be a bit more patient on the daily because it's working on the move to the upside. It's working its way to get there. Now, in the meantime, as it's working, you have to accept and definitely prepare for that volatility in the meantime. Even a dip, again, back down to the 200 daily for a back test in the spring. It's still very possible. But in the meantime, what do? We look for opportunities. Of course, we want to stay one step ahead, and the opportunities are in the altcoin market. So, of course, let's take a look at Celestia. TIA is the ticker. Now that we see where Bitcoin's at, and we can, judge, basically where the liquidity could go. Look, if Bitcoin starts running really hard, people are going to start, potentially even taking capital off of their altcoin positions and putting them into Bitcoin, allowing Bitcoin to run, and then people will take profit and rotate. That's very possible. Bullish altcoin projects they won't feel that effect because people won't risk taking their capital out of those bullish projects. And in fact, what they may do is just go sideways. That would be a sign of bullishness. But what happens to Celestia? In this case, it is going sideways. It is forming structure. It is respecting horizontal levels. It's doing everything that it needs to do, and it's doing everything that other layer ones have been doing. If you look down the list and you look at even if we look from the top of the list, SUI, and of course we go into Say, and then we go into Aptos, and we look at all the newer layer ones, the newer projects that are looking great, shiny, new, lots of marketing dollars, lots of hype behind them. They're doing great. And if we start looking at that rotation within that narrative, the new layer one narrative, and we can see that some projects could be waking up as well. Now, do we take a bit of a chance on Celestia? Obviously, guys, do your research. Fundamentals are important. Are there unlocks, or is there that and this and that? You got to really look into it. But from a purely price action perspective, at this current moment, and if you look at and compare other layer ones that I mentioned, Celestia looks primed and ready to follow their lead. And we're getting a bit of volume right into here. You can see the volume bars growing right into this level. You can see we got a confirmation low, a higher low. Let me make this a bit bigger. You can see we even got a confirmation high, a higher high. So after making a higher high and a higher low, guys, it gives us, a bit of confidence that maybe we are changing directions. We got many lower lows and lower highs. And then at this point, we started making a higher high and a higher low. What about if we go for another higher high and break above the 200 daily? What about if we make a higher high and we break above this horizontal resistance at about $7 and snap through this volume gap? You can see there's an empty space, and it does kind of taper in at right about $6.75, $8.75. We could snap to that level, and at that level is where we could potentially, consolidate for another leg up, similar to what Say is doing at the current moment. Now, I'm comparing different projects that are very similar in price action as fractals, just to kind of get a sense of what could happen based on rotation. Celestia is still at the bottom of the range and did not break out of any structure. It didn't even break out of this accumulation range that we can clearly see right here. So what I'm hoping to see in the next little while is Celestia actually break. Celestia actually moving to the upside and breaking above the 200 daily with this volume and the strength, and especially with the sentiment that we have with these layer ones. Now, if you look at what's happening here with the momentum oscillator, let's quickly take a look here. Let's make this bigger, and let's you can see that we're clearly in an uptrend, right into this level, clearly in an uptrend. So that's very nice to see momentum. The purple line definitely trending to the upside. We want to see momentum going up to the bullish control zone, basically in overbought conditions above the 70. So let me show you what I mean. You see this yellow line, how it follows the purple? That's basically the moving average. What we want is this to go up for a higher high, maybe come down for another higher low, and maybe go up for another higher high, and finally reach this area, which is the overbought state. If we can get overbought, and if you backtest this idea, every time we get overbought, you know, obviously Celestia doesn't have a lot of price action, so look at another project that has a lot of price action. You will note that overbought and oversold conditions, which is down here, have the best price action, the most explosive, strong price action that's where you want to get involved in. So this is preparation time. What about if the momentum actually gets the momentum, which is the purple line, finally gets to this level, following the yellow, of course. Look at this nice, beautiful, rounded type of bottom after getting fully reset and oversold state. This looks really good. Now, as far as volatility goes, maybe we could hesitate here the same way we did before. Maybe we come down to get oversold and we get a bit of a dip. Like I mentioned, be prepared. Those transitionary structures take time to build, and then on the way up again, we get another impulse to the upside, and this is the time to start going long with a bit more conviction, anticipating that we continue the trend to the upside with momentum, and volatility also pushes to the upside, giving us a great correlation between momentum and volatility pushing bullish. When they're both in unison like that, that's where you get the majority of the move, guys. That's where you get the massive impulse to the upside, particularly in overbought conditions, guys. This is what we're waiting for. This is what we plan for. Now, if we start looking at the trend oscillator, and let's see if we get any confluence there, you can see that also the trend oscillator has been diverging in the last little while. You can see these higher lows. EMAs are obviously getting into the bullish control zone. EMAs facing up, green histogram bars right into here. But as I did for Bitcoin, let's take a look at what the 4-day looks like. You can see clearly that the EMAs are definitely facing up, green histogram bars, expansions are getting smaller and smaller, and this thing wants to get into the bullish control zone in a big way. Okay, and if it does happen, guys, we're gonna get the massive expansion to the upside. So I'm combining the 4-day lately. In the last 2 days, I've been looking at the 4-day because the 4-day is giving us a big picture signal that the daily is not really giving us. The daily is still in that transitionary phase from bearish to bullish, but the 4-day is showing us, well, yeah, let that daily time frame give us a bullish signal, because ultimately the 4-day is ready to go. As you can see, really ready to go. So let's get back into the chart. So now let's look at the price action once again. You will see that, you know, basically the price is at the bottom, transitioning from bearish to bullish. It does look like an inverse head and shoulder. If you can see that we have a head, this is the 4-day. So let's go back to the daily. You can see that we have, let me use this tool right here. You can see the head right into here. Fine. And then we start looking at, okay, this is a shoulder, maybe another shoulder, maybe, you know, complex inverse head and shoulders do happen quite a bit. Maybe this is another shoulder right here. Now the question is, do we actually come down for another shoulder? Because we had the head right here, okay, and then we had a shoulder and shoulder and another shoulder here, and maybe we come down for another shoulder over there. Now that this is called a complex shoulder, inverse head and shoulder, where we have multiple shoulders in one head. The reality is that the only important thing is the importance of the neckline. So if we break the neckline, this is what we got to watch out for, is if we break this neckline, which is confluent with the volume that we have here at $7, you can see that, guys, it's very likely that we start breaking out and we start hitting some bullish targets. Okay, so we have to consider the possibility that we look for a move, right? And the measured move from the neckline to the base or the bottom of the head would give us this, and we go up right here at the breakout zone. Confluence is at about $10, which would be great, right? Which would be a great move. Now, if you look at Celestia, for example, if you look at Say, for example, Say is right at this level consolidating, and many other projects after a breakout, they consolidate, and that's considered a flag, you know, a bull flag. So let me show you what I mean. What I'm really hoping hoping that as we expand out of this level and we flag out a little bit. Now, it could be a wider flag. It could definitely be, but I would like to flag out a bit because this would give us a second opportunity to get in, and obviously get in with maybe a bit of leverage or maybe a bigger position size, because after a breakout and a back test of the breakout down here and then a bit of consolidation, giving us multiple opportunities to be buying dips and accumulating for the next expansion to the upside, which would be the third wave, because this would be number one, this would be number two, and this would be number three. The third wave to the upside is the biggest. So what we have to watch out for right now is, number one, are we a breakout trader? Are we going to break out of this level and prepare our bags at this zone where we are right now for the breakout, or are we going to wait for a dip for the right shoulder and buy the dip? And therefore, you're not a breakout trader. You're buying the bottoms, horizontal bottoms. That's ideal. Now, after that, what we can look for is a back test of the 200 and a back test of the neckline, and then we can scale in again. The difference there is that your invalidation is at the bottom of the structure instead of like it is right now, which is the bottom of this structure, which is the inverse head and shoulder. Guys, the market is looking good. We need to start getting very comfortable buying breakout structures or continuation structures, because if you miss out on Celestia right now and you do not accumulate at these bottoms and it starts to expand, you're going to have to be very comfortable buying into the bull flag and putting a stop loss and then continuation to the upside. And if it doesn't happen, guys, that's the name of the game. You miss out, and unfortunately you trying to buy the tops or trying to buy a green candle is where you take a lot of risk. At this current moment, Celestia hasn't really left the station yet. The question is it? And are we going to prepare our bags for that opportunity? Guys, if I've offered you any value here, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Guys, I'm going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. EST talking about crypto news and price action. So feel free to join. It's a great time and place to make any requests on any projects you want me to cover. So I'll see you then. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.